All right. Our in-depth discussion this week is another edition of the Top 7.
Seven.
Yeah, 7. This is a segment where we go around. Each panelist gets to pick what they think is the best or worst or whatever the category calls for, and we put that one into a ranking. And then, so the top 7 will be the 7 things that our panelists pick out, and then we all have to come together and figure out a ranking of those 7 items. That's how the segment works. Joining us for the segment, obviously, there's me and Nick and Cameron. We also have Jason Divendal from Pleasure Island.
Hey, howdy, hey.
Is it raining?
Whoa.
Live.
Is it raining?
Live at Pleasure Island. It is raining here, yep.
Oh, is that what we're hearing?
Yeah, it's pouring.
Yes.
Isn't it raining at your house?
Matter of fact, it's pouring. You can't hear it on the microphone. You have your mic turned towards the window.
You might as well just go outside.
Turn the mic.
I am outside. What mic?
The mic in front of you, isn't it pointing the wrong way?
No, it's an
No, it's right in-
omnidirectional.
It's omnidirectional. Well, there's settings on the back. I don't know. Anyway.
It's right in front of me.
Let's cut to whoever's like
can hear me,
crunching a
right?
bottle.
I don't know who's crunching.
That's
Let's cut to
Jessica.
whoever's crunching a bottle.
Who's crunching the bottle? Expose yourself.
That's
I didn't do it.
Jessica.
I'm not crunching.
Guys, we have bought a studio. You can't do this anymore.
I'm not crunching.
We're trying to be
I have
professional.
nothing to crunch.
Okay. It's Jessica
crunch.
Figueroa who wrote all those titles that Nick hates.
Hi, everyone
Just
hates
that,
me.
just that one, Jess. It was really misleading. I thought I was clicking on an article to read about new attractions.
Everyone's a critic.
And there were
Gordo
no
and
new
I are going to
attractions.
be out on the street, and it's all your fault.
Wow. Anyway, you could always live in the studio. Ashley Jazz.
Actually, she can't. That violates the lease.
Hi.
And who else? There's somebody. Rob?
Rob.
Is Rob there? There's
Rob's there.
Rob.
Hey.
This isn't Park.
Hey, it's raining here too. It's raining.
Whoa. Thank you, Rob.
Turn down, Rob.
Anyway,
Justice.
if you enjoyed that Disneyland sale image from earlier, that's because Rob made it.
Yep.
All right. So we're doing top 7 Disneyland attractions.
7.
This could be 7. This could be anything at the Disneyland Resort. So if it's a California Adventure, it's also up for grabs. We're going to go panels by panels. You tell us what your pick is. Obviously, I've pre-screened all these, so there is no overlap. Some of you had to pick your second favorite because of that. But
Gotta be quicker.
let's start. We'll start with the ladies. Ashley, why don't you lead us off?
Sure. My favorite was actually Alice in Wonderland. The dark ride is my absolute top pick. I think it is a classic dark ride attraction. I love the little land that goes all around it. Mad Tea Party, I also very, very much love, and it's a shame that Florida can't have the same ambiance and atmosphere with the lanterns and everything that Disneyland does because of the weather. But yeah, I can't say enough good things about it. I think it's a great, great dark ride. And I don't think it gets quite as much love as it does, especially having the second story where you get the views of Fantasyland. And I think the story works really well as a dark ride because it's a kind of confusing story and doesn't need to make a whole lot of sense. So the switching of scenes makes it easy to keep up with.
Who is
yeah,
wrestling their
It's
microphone?
big.
Jessica.
It's Jessica.
Thank you. Go ahead, Ashley. I'm sorry.
But yeah, that for all of those reasons and many, many more, and just a true deep love of Alice in Wonderland, the original, not Tim Burton. That is why it is my top attraction at Disneyland.
Okay. Jessica, if you're done crunching on your microphone.
Can I turn on my mic now?
Yeah, now
Yes.
you can.
I'm sorry. I was getting some Zooms to display my answer.
Wow.
Makes sense.
Nick makes sense.
I didn't know, mind you, I didn't know you could pick Disney California adventure stuff. I think.
Would your
it
answer
would've
have
been
changed?
different
could?
if- Yeah, I thought it was just Disney.
Don't worry, whatever you're going to pick at DCA is probably already gone, so don't worry about it.
Oh.
Incredicoaster?
Well.
So you stop it. You didn't even pick that, you jerk.
I
didn't know
really
Disney
like
was
the
a
Incredicoaster.
choice.
So I've only been to Disneyland once, and they still haven't gotten to do everything, But in the time I was there, there was one ride that I just wanted to keep going on over and over. And it's the one ride where you get to die. And it's
Matterhorn?
Mr. Toad's Mr. Toad.
Oh, Mr. Toad. Mr.
It's
Toad. You gotta
Mr.
write it out.
Toad.
Mister. Mr. Toad.
No, that
Ben
bothered
is
me
so
just knowing
formal.
that existed. Yeah, the big takeaway from Disneyland is that it had so many cute dark rides, and I love them all, honestly. It was kind of hard picking one, but Mr. Toad definitely is pretty out there. I love the facade. I love the interior. I love the storyline. I like that it's always been there, even though this is like the 1980s version of it, like the incarnation of it. But yeah, it's wild, it's wacky. It's just, there's so many things going on, despite it just being a dark ride. But yeah, I really like it.
Dark ride.
No, but it's not.
Why do we always feel the need to downgrade dark rides? Why do we have to feel bad about putting
I
dark rides on
don't.
this
I
list?
picked a dark ride too.
I agree. I'm saying
Yeah,
that, but she
I
said
too
just
have
a
picked
dark ride. I think the
'cause a lot of
company
people-
undervalues dark rides. I think people love
Yeah.
Oh,
them.
that's true.
Yeah, exactly. A lot of people, the company, other people, like, they don't even go on these rides. They're like, oh, whatever, it's a dark ride. Like, I don't need to go on that or see it. And they ended up being my all-time favorites, all of them. But Mr. Toad was very special to me. I vaguely recall it from, like, Walt Disney World, but I don't think I ever actually went on it. So this was kind of like a culminating moment for me. I'd always seen it. I'd never got to ride it. And then I finally got to ride it in Disneyland. So everything made sense. Yeah. I also like the scene where you're just engulfed in flames. Is that a thing?
Or you go to hell.
It is a thing. I do enjoy that too.
There's weird red figures.
It's a thing. I like pretending I can drive on it. I should stop.
Wow. I like pretending I can drive on it.
Just like the Speedway.
Anyway,
Sponsored by Tesla.
thank you, Jessica. Let's go with Rob. Rob, our guest tonight. Rob, what are you picking?
Well, I didn't have time to prepare zooms. But
There's
as
some
you can see
behind
behind
you,
me,
though,
yeah, as you can see behind me with all the Star Wars stuff I have, clearly I chose the Nightmare Before Christmas overlay, the Haunted Mansion Holiday. You know what? The very first time I took the family to, the very first time I took the family, I planned it during a time when that would be there. I love that movie. I went into it, and I think it's genius. I think the way that they've transformed that, for 4 months out of the year, to be a completely different attraction. To me, it's magical. I love that attraction, and I wished for a little bit that we would have it in Florida. And then I thought, you know what? It's super special. I'm kind of glad that it's where it is, and I get to visit it when I get to. So for me, Haunted Mansion Holiday all the way. I like their Haunted Mansion, so it's neat to sometimes go back and see the original Haunted Mansion. But just from riding through and smelling the gingerbread house that they have in the main ballroom scene, all the things they did in the graveyard scene, the animatronic Jack Skellington that's there just for a limited time. It's like you said about Batuu, they spared no expense. They really went in and made an amazing overlay. And then I look at stuff like the Jingle Cruise and I go, is that really an overlay, or is that just people dropped some presents and told a few jokes? It blows me away every time I see it. And when I get to go and do it, I do it like 3, 4, 5 times, and I'm humming the music the rest of the time. So that's the one for me.
All right. Who's up? Jason?
Okay. So I picked Matterhorn.
Oh,
for
there
a
you go,
couple
Nick.
reasons.
Someone. It's finally.
The one where you go to
an
hell?
actual-
About time.
The one where you go in the water? Go through the water?
You go to hell and in the water, which seems contradictory because don't you think the water would put out the fire in hell? But anyway, not only do you go to hell and in the water, but it's the first tubular steel coaster in the world. And also, actually, my favorite part of this is a memory from 2005. 2005. No, 2010. 2010. I had my daughters with
40
me
40
in
seconds.
Disneyland.
Go ahead,
Is
no,
that
go
all I
ahead.
get?
No,
No,
I'm
just
joking.
kidding.
It's a joke. Because you're bad with numbers. Go ahead, 2010.
I am bad with numbers. In 2010, I had my daughters with me in Disneyland, and the youngest one was 2.5 years old. And she loved roller coasters. And back then, the Matterhorn had the tandem seating,
Yeah.
so and the height requirement was 32 inches. You think about 32-inch height requirement for a roller coaster, and it's absurd.
You had to
But
be with an
that was
adult,
what it
though,
was.
right? That was the way that worked?
You had to be with an adult. Yeah,
Yeah.
sure. But that meant I could take my 2-year-old on the Matterhorn, which blew my mind. But I took her on, and she loved it, and I think that sparked her love of roller coasters because now she'll go on almost anything. She's a little hesitant on the ones that go upside down, but she usually does them anyway. So that's a really special memory for me. And I think Matterhorn's a great ride. I think it's one of the rides that's withstood the test of time in Disneyland because it's a great coaster to begin with. It was put together amazingly well. They've kept it up amazingly well. Other than now, the cars make tall people like me pain through the whole ride because
It
of
was painful
my knees hitting the
before.
seat in front of me. It's still a great ride, and I love it. So that was my pick.
Okay. My favorite Matterhorn memory involves Jason, but it was that time we shoved Adam in with him in a tandem seat. But that's another story for another day. Cameron, why don't you go ahead?
I chose Indiana Jones Adventure for both sentimental reasons and because I truly do think it is the best ride at Disneyland. As we all know, it's the same track as Dinosaur. I think
first, though.
it came first. I think the storyline for Indiana Jones is maybe not as strong as Dinosaurs is, but I think it's more fun. The adventure story. The scenes are fun to experience each time, but the fire, you have to see the fire. The big ball scene at the end is
Boulder.
the
big
boulder,
balls.
the
Wow.
The big
the
balls.
part where you go to
Jason,
hell is a lot
stop
of
making
fun.
it- I like the part where you go underwater. Like that part.
The part you go to hell.
Yeah, each scene is a lot
my
of fun to
favorite
experience. For a lot of sentimental reasons, Indiana Jones is means more to me than even Star Wars does. The queue is incredibly themed. I'm a big queue guy. Even the part I've been thinking about this a lot for some weird reason, but the part where like if the ride gets backed up and you have to stop for a minute, the fact that the car is still running is like so cool to me. You know how they like you just stopped and the car is still running and then it fires back up when you go. Like all those small details. And recently, our last trip to Disneyland, we got like one of the cast members stopped and offered like a private tour of the queue to us, which was really special.
There was no one in the park. Yeah.
That day, Galaxy's Edge opening day.
Opening day. That's
Yeah.
right. The only people like, would you like a private tour?
Yeah,
Yes.
they hired too many cast members. But it was really special to us, and it made me love the ride even more. I think just overall, it's thrilling, but not too thrilling if you have younger kids. It's something that everybody I think can do.
It's one of the rides my mother will go on.
Yeah.
I like the part where Han Solo shows up.
Well,
That
I know you're
too.
not talking about Galaxy's Edge.
So for a lot of reasons, it's almost my ideal ride.
If I can jump in as Tokyo Tom for a minute.
Sure, Tokyo Tom, go ahead.
That was my
Kawaii.
favorite ride. That was my favorite ride, and then I rode the Tokyo one, and I was like, oh no, I've lived another lie.
Wow.
Tokyo one.
Don't tell me that.
It improves all the little things you go on Indy and you're like, oh, it's a fantastic ride, but I would have changed that and that. They changed it in Tokyo, and it's amazing. Anyway, move on. Nick, go ahead.
For me, it is Pirates of the Caribbean.
The original.
Yes. So my first trip to Disneyland was, I guess, about 10 years ago now. And I had no idea. I'd been living with Pirates of the Caribbean at Disney World for my whole life, and always loved it. It was the, kind of the one I always remembered on my trips. And then when I went out to California, my mind was blown. People told me it was different, but I was like, how different can it be? I mean, it is a masterpiece. It really is. And I remember going on it and then literally getting back in line and just going like 5 or 6 times in a row and just being in awe of it. It's one of those attractions that, like, there's a few attractions when I first go on them, I just have this like jaw-dropping like experience. And I mean, modern day, that was like, racers and Flight of Passage.
There's only a handful, I think, for everybody.
There is. Yeah. And there really hasn't been that many modern attractions that do that to me. And so when to go on an attraction like that and I have that experience, and it's like just to know, like, that attraction was built decades before this. And for them to give an experience like that, that stands the test of time, and that is so unique to that park. And I just, you haven't experienced Pirates until you go on the California version. And so that's why it's there. It's just that feeling of classic Disneyland right there in that building.
That was another one of those living a lie moments.
Yeah.
Where, like, we lived with you the same way.
Yep.
We lived with that Pirates our whole lives. And then you go to California, you're like, oh,
wow,
ours is terrible.
Yeah.
And then you go to Tokyo and you go, oh, ours is terrible. And then you go to Paris and you go, oh, ours is really terrible.
Wow.
Then you go to Shanghai.
Then you go to Shanghai, it doesn't work. You're like, this is garbage.
Pirates is a revolution.
Overrated. Anyway. Yeah, but the Florida Pirates is absolutely the worst one. There's a lot of reasons and story to that, but we won't get into that now. I picked, and this is going to shock people, Radiator Springs Racers. I think in the modern era, there are so few true, like, big jaw-dropping e-tickets. They have built rides in mountains before. They never built a ride in a mountain range. And so, like, Galaxy's Edge has this big mountain range, but you know what? It doesn't faze me because it's been done already. And I just think the Cadillac range is the most beautiful thing. And the fact that there's a ride that goes all through that race portion is so, on its own, is its own thing, is so pretty. Especially at night, you go around the butte, and it goes around the, just weaves through all this stuff, and the views just from down there looking straight up at the Cadillac range, and it's unbelievable. Never mind, the animatronics inside are fantastic. I love those figures, like backwards driving Mater, and Luigi. I love Luigi with the tires that show sort of the movement and the emotion. They're really cool figures. They really found the right way to bring those characters to life. The scenes inside are really fun. It's very cute. The race portion is fantastic. It makes Test Track look like the biggest hunk of junk that's ever been built. It's a perfect ride. It saved that park. It changed the face of that park forever in a way that Galaxy's Edge won't do to Disneyland, I think, honestly. It is a defining attraction of that entire park. And I think, again, like Nick said, Pirates was one of those attractions. The first time you just mouth open, like, how did that happen? Racers was one of those. Insanely detailed, beautiful queue. Just everything about it is so special. It's one of the best, even having now seen all the parks, still one of the absolute best, probably in my top 5, if not top 3 worldwide. Can hang in there with the best of them from anywhere. But yeah. Okay, so now we have our 7, and we have to now all fight with each other to rank them.
Post
Oh,
up.
goody.
All right, so what do we think is the worst thing on this list?
Indiana Jones.
No.
Mr.
No.
Toad.
You hated, that's
Goodbye.
right, you hated Indiana Jones, didn't you?
I
You didn't
did.
like
There's
it?
Why?
You also
Oh
hate
my
every
God.
dinner we ever had together. So you can
No, they all sucked.
It's true.
No, I don't know. Indy felt junky. Like everything,
No.
like the car kept breaking down. Like, yeah, I got a lot of the whole.
I think we had a
car stalling
bad
thing.
ride on it though, because I don't think the other 6 people in this conversation are going to go with you on this.
No,
I
No,
know.
but-
I
Yeah,
just,
see,
like I
no,
said,
so
this
it-
is how
Sorry,
it is.
Justin. No.
I think Toad.
I'll take it.
Toad.
I love Toad, but it's flats. I mean, it's it's charming, and I don't have a problem with it being in a conversation because I think it's a charming, wonderful opening day thing. But I think on this list, I think it's got to be number 7.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
As
fine.
much as I
I'll
hate to
take it.
say, yeah.
Jessica's
Take
like,
that, Jessica.
Mr.
Now who's rides
take
in
it.
last
I'm gonna write out
place?
Mr.
I came into this
Oh,
knowing it was gonna rank low. That was fine. It honestly, my other pick, thinking it was just Disneyland, my other pick was like the canoes.
I mean, they're special.
I always say, like, you know how I always joke around about like releasing like 1 serotonin. I release at least 5 on that canoe
Wow.
ride.
That's
Everything was,
actually
like,
just sweat.
I was gonna say,
That's
was that all
called
the actual
manual.
exercise
It's
that
called
you got?
manual labor. It's what other
the-
people do.
It's the only attraction that's like only powered by people. That's just so cool.
Oh,
And
you
then-
know what people attraction I like? I like the person mover. That's my favorite. Show that we have the poster
that
there.
was-
The Tom Corliss person mover. There I am, and nobody else.
Available now on T Public.
Can tell you now. We went to go ride the people mover once. He's like, you're gonna have to wait for the next one. I ride alone. I'm a loner, Dottie. A
Wow.
rebel.
Wow.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. You also wanted to pick the Main Street Cinema, and I had to stop you. So we won't get into that. You like some oddballs. Number 6.
I like.
Alice in Wonderland.
Alice.
No. I think Matterhorn.
No.
Alice is the king of the dark rides, I think.
I'll
There's
t- I'll
something
take that.
special.
I would agree
about
with
it.
that. I think it
Well, of
doesn't
course
get the
you'd
love it
agree with
deserves
that.
because of Pan. I really do. I think Pan overshadows it, but it's better
Pan's
than Pan.
overrated.
Pan's overrated.
That's what I'm saying.
Other than the
Yeah,
Shanghai
but
one,
people
which
always
is
rave-
amazing.
I like
Right, but people
Pinocchio
always
over there.
rave about Peter Pan.
You know,
And
I love
Alice
Peter
is
Pan.
10
It's part of
times
my
better.
childhood, but Alice is a masterpiece, I think.
Alice
you
is
can't get Alice
fantastic.
anywhere.
Sorry,
That's
put it
right.
on
Still
It's
don't think
only
it's
at
as good as
Disneyland.
Matterhorn.
So what are we talking? How many people think Matterhorn should be number 6? I do. That's 1.
Me.
I'll
Two.
take it. Yeah.
3. Okay. So who thinks that Alice should be number 6?
Right here.
The 2 boys.
Me.
Rob?
I would,
Them
I would,
boys.
I would put it as number 6. Or I'd
What?
offer another one.
Rob!
What did he
I don't
say?
put
Oh, he
another
put
one.
Alice number. That's it.
Yeah,
that does
but-
it. I mean, that's it.
But I'd offer another one, if I could fight it, would be Pirates. And not because I don't love Pirates, because it's great, but it's not unique to Disneyland like all these other attractions are.
Mm.
So I think it needs to be closer to the bottom.
Yeah, but
Doesn't
that
No,
makes
necessarily
it
mean-
it's
top,
it's
I don't
unique in
know.
its own way.
It is the
it's unique
original. I mean, it's
amongst
the
the pirates.
original pirate.
It's the original. You've got
It
a point, Rob.
is,
I do
but it's
agree with
been-
your point, but it's the original. That's my
Okay.
I'm torn.
All right, number 5. We put Matterhorn at 5.
Yeah.
Or
Yes,
Pirates.
if it can't be 6, then it
I'm
has
not.
to be
No,
5.
I'm not putting pirates at 5. Get out of here.
Indie
That's
at
fine.
5.
Put Matterhorn at 5.
Get out of here with
Leave.
your indie.
You're
So wait, how many people are Matterhorn at 5?
me.
2.
I
Yep.
really liked Matterhorn.
Ashley.
Wait, it's
Yep.
Yeah, I don't
Matterhorn at
like it
5.
at 5, but I'm okay with that.
Okay.
No, I'm in.
All right, Matterhorn 5.
Bye.
Rob, I can't believe you let it beat Alice.
What I
You're the
try-
tiebreaker.
I was
Rob.
pushing.
You don't look good tonight.
All right, what about
You
You
number?
let me down, Rob.
Wow. What's
So
number
much
4?
shade.
Can we keep
So
this
much
going,
shade.
folks? What's number 4?
Sorry.
Is Alice
That I
still-
think.
I can't remember what.
Alice is getting here.
What?
You got-
Yeah. What do we
you
have?
got
left
Mansion,
again?
Racers, Jones, or Pirates?
Just drop
Oh.
Jones
I'd say
already.
Pirates.
No.
I'd say Mansion.
Pirates.
but
Mansion.
Pirates or
That's my
Mansion?
vote.
Mansion.
No,
My
see,
vote's
again,
Mansion.
on that one. I get it. The Pirates is the original. I love going on it. We went the last time we were there. But the thing that with Haunted Mansion Holiday is it's special to. I mean, obviously there was one in Tokyo, but not always
It's
get
not
to go to
even
Tokyo every
close.
day.
I will say
So-
that's one where Disneyland beats Tokyo for sure.
Cool.
It's not. As
Yeah, but I mean, everything about it from the outside to the inside is well thought out and put together, and it's very special to Disneyland. And so, as much as I love that Pirates, I don't think it's as magical to that experience and as special. And I think I would argue for Pirates to be number 4.
I agree.
Yep.
No,
It's a strong case.
I want Mansion 4. So we're 3-1. Nick.
Mansion 4.
Okay, 3 to
Come on,
2.
Nick.
Jason,
I'm
what do
okay
you
with-
think? Or
Jason.
Jesse.
I'd put Mansion.
So
I'd put
annoying.
Mansion.
Jason says Mansion.
It's
Jess,
so
what do you
hard.
I'm okay with Mansion at 4.
Yeah.
Let me back up a second. Jessica, have you ever been on the Haunted Mansion Holiday?
No.
Okay,
Have
then.
you? But you
Literally.
the bus anyway.
But-
Okay.
I
not a-
already wrote it down. It's too late.
Isn't that a prerequisite for this?
Come
No
Been
back-
to
Have
Disneyland.
you been
the
on it,
season.
Cameron?
I've been on it.
Oh, okay.
Many times.
Oh, okay.
I'm
Yeah.
a
Talk to
deluxe.
your
I have a
Richard, please.
deluxe. I have a deluxe pass. Remember, I'm blocked out.
Oh wow. All right. All right. For
Right,
number
and you're gonna say I wish I had picked the Mansion.
3, what do people think for number 3?
Gotta be Pirates.
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 No.
I would say Indiana, honestly.
I like
No,
Indy for 3.
All right, good. Okay, I support there, then I'm going with it.
That's
Nick
strong.
and I are with Team
No.
Indy at number 3.
Good.
Who else?
It's
Jessica's on Team
Me.
Indy.
All right. I need one more.
Jason.
don't do it,
No.
Jason.
Wow.
Pirates. Ashley.
Pirates.
No,
Pirates.
Pirates.
Rob.
Rob.
Pirates.
There it is. Bye.
Wow. All
You're
right,
drowning.
Pirates.
Arc.
You're drowning.
Did you guys not have that revelation growing up? Okay.
All right,
All right,
Racers
so let's
versus
just
Indy.
decide number 1. Racers.
Racers.
Yeah, Indy's 2. Racers
Yeah.
gotta be 1.
Oh, there's
As
no
much as I
argument.
want.
No
one's even-
argument.
no one's even gonna fight for Indy against Racers.
I
It's
mean, I
over?
could
No,
go
you
either
would
way.
No.
I could. I think.
I
No.
could go either way.
I'm just gonna write it down.
kind of
There
a
you
toss
go.
up from me.
No, I think that the Racers attraction is a complete attraction, and like Tom said, it's very unique and special. And the music as you go through is amazing. The characters are amazing. Aside from Doc being there, it could exist in story anytime in the Cars universe.
Yeah.
So I mean, I don't know how you go number 1 on that one.
Yeah. I agree.
I think it is one of the best ways they've ever brought a movie to life. I think that
Yeah.
land is just so special. Even still, I still think it's better than Galaxy's Edge. People can fight me on it. I don't care. We'll see when Rise opens, but as it stands now, I think Cars Land's better than Galaxy's Edge. I don't think you can make a connection to Galaxy's Edge. I think it's real hard.
Well, plus there'll be 2 Galaxy's Edges there. So I mean, again,
I mean
it'll be
that's
something
true,
that's
but I
special.
don't really want to hold that against it. But I don't know. The more time I've spent in Galaxy's Edge, the more disconnected from it I've felt. I don't know. All right, so let's recap. Number 7 is Mr. Toad's Wild Ride. Number 6, Alice in Wonderland. Number 5, The Matterhorn. Number 4, Haunted Mansion Holiday. Number 3, Pirates of the Caribbean. Number 2, The Indiana Jones Adventure. And number 1, the top attraction at Disneyland Resort, Radiator Springs Racers.
Yeah.
Yay.
Cameron's actually happy. Yeah.
Mine wasn't last this time.
Mine just wasn't.